Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about storm prep and hurricane prep. Very similar. I'll see you inside. The most important thing with a hurricane is, well, we know we might get them, right? So there's a probability that we're going to get them certain times during the year, August through October, whatever it is on the East Coast. Cyclones and other things, if you're looking at it from other parts of the world, you know your timelines. So you can prepare for it. You can have a plan. I don't know if any plan is better than any other plan. It's really based on what your needs are, what you want to do with the boat, what you're comfortable with. I'd say there are maybe three types of plans maybe. One is, pull the boat out of the water, put it on the hard, put it on jack stands. The second would be leave it in the water. So like either on anchor or a mooring or a dock. So maybe that's two. And based on what you're going to be doing, you want to, like I said, have a plan. So if you're going to pull it out of the water, if you're going to have anything to do with the marina, talk to them way, way early in the season and set up a plan, a documented plan. When the hurricane gets named, you're going to bring my boat out of the water. It's going to come out and it's going to go over here, We're going to do this to this to it, type thing. Depending on where you are, some marinas will have totally different hurricane preparation processes that they go through. Depends on what part of the country they're in, what winds they typically get, what water they typically get. Sometimes they strap down boats, sometimes they don't. Depends on where you are. The other thing is if you're going to stay in the water, again, if you're going to be on a mooring, many marinas won't allow you to stay on mooring during hurricanes because they don't want their moorings ripped out, so they'll force you to go. So check with your marina and see what they say you have to do when a hurricane is named and they're coming barreling down. So you know what to do. You're not like, oh geez, I thought I could just stay on the mooring. Another place you could go to a dock, again, dealing with a marina. Have a plan on where you're going to go, how you're going to go, where they're going to put you, those types of things beforehand, because as soon as the hurricane name hits, everybody's going to be scrambling to try to find a place to put their boat. The last place I would say would be on anchor or tied up to something, or like down in the Keys. I know boats will tuck into mangroves, deep in the mangroves, where there's not as much wind, and they'll tie off to all the mangroves all over the place. I guess those can be good places too. The only problem with, and what they call these places hurricane holes. Like the Northeast has hurricane holes, but the only thing is everybody knows about the hurricane holes. So all the boats are going to tuck into that hurricane hole, and when they're going to get beat up and splashed all around, and anchors, chains anchored, chains tied up in all kinds of different things. So there is no perfect solution. I guess maybe the last one is to, I wouldn't say outrun the hurricane, but maybe get out of the way, like way before it comes. With any hurricane prep, what you want to do is get the sails off the boat. Get anything that's going to blow around. Try to decrease your windward, your wind shadow for the hurricane. So take your sails down, put them below. Also, I've lowered my boom down and secured that before. Take off your bimini. Take off if you have solar panels on your bimini. Anything that's going to blow around. Life vests or anything that's attached to your railings. Get them out of there. Put them down below. That's the first thing. The second thing would be to go down below and look for your through hulls. Close up through hulls that you don't need open. Maybe you don't need any of them open. You probably don't if you're just going to be riding out a hurricane or a storm. So close those up because those are potential places for water to get into the boat. If you have a dinghy, find a place for your dinghy. I wouldn't leave it on the boat because, again, it's going to be more wind prone to be ripped off your boat. You're going to lose it probably. Take it someplace on land. And then my personal opinion is, as far as like whether you ride out a hurricane on a boat or not, I would say absolutely hell no. But that's my personal opinion. I value my life, my partner's life, more than a boat. It's just a boat. They have insurance. They can be broken. They're things. So they can be replaced. They can be fixed. But you can't. So that's my personal opinion. Get the hell off the boat. Secure the best you can and leave. And, and what happens, happens. And then you deal with the aftermath. Right. So if you're going to stay on a mooring or anchor, or even, tying off to some mangroves or something like that, chafe protection is very important. So any lines that you have that lead from your boat to an anchor, to shore, to a mooring, whatever they are, they're going to rub on your boat. And when there's really strong winds and high waves, the bow goes like this. And that's just a constant sawing action. So put adequate chafe protection on your lines. You can buy it at different places. You can buy or find lengths of fire hose. Many people will use fire hose. That works really, really well. Items inside, if they're valuable to you and you wouldn't want to lose them, take them off the boat, because it's that possibility. Anything that's going to rattle around or break, secure it, just like as if you were going to be going offshore. Because the boat's going to be moving around a lot and rolling and pitching and everything. So yeah, secure everything down as much as you can and then leave. So, if you do go to a hurricane hole, like I was saying, you're probably going to be close to a lot of other boats. What's your comfort level with that? You may think that you may really have an excellent way to tie down your boat and it's going to be, great and it's not going to move. But what about the guy next to you? Did he tie down his boat as well as yours? Is he going to like break and crash into your boat? You don't know. And that just happens on everyday anchoring too. If you have propane on the boat, close the propane valves, make sure that they're secured. Same thing with your engines, make sure you're not going to leak fuel all over the place. You secure all your hatches and your portholes and anything where you're going to get water in there, rain or blue water, green water. Now with storm prep in general, sometimes have enough notice, but oftentimes it's like, you might get beeped on the, channel 16, and it might bump over to NOAA and say, warning, warning, heavy thunderstorms, barreling down at you at 30 miles an hour. So you might not have a lot of time, but, so try to do those main things that you can. I wouldn't say you're probably not going to have time to get your sails off the boat or drop your sails, but make sure they're secured really, really well. Like I have there's various ways to secure your sails. Like my mainsail actually goes right into my boom. My mast. Sometimes they drop into your boom. Sometimes they're just hanked on and they just drop on. So take extra lashings around your sails maybe. Same thing with your head sail, your Genoa. Like if you have a roller furling, I've seen those things. Not even in crazy storms, but I've seen those things break off and your sail just gets trashed. It gets ripped to shreds. So. Take care of that. Maybe if you have time, oftentimes you don't have a lot of time. You don't have a lot of, it just kind of happens. So just batten down what you can. If you're on a dock, again, chafing gear or extra lines on a dock. On a mooring, chafing gear. If you're on anchor, which we tend to be a lot, extra chain, extra line or extra rope out, extra rode. Go past that 7-to-1 ratio. I've been told some people that 7-to-1, anything greater than 7-to-1 doesn't really do anything. But I figure I've got that extra chain in my locker. It's not doing any good in the locker, so I might as well drop it down. And I feel more comfortable when I have extra rode. When you do that, just look around the boats around you to make sure you still have swing room. Because oftentimes with thunderstorms or fronts, your boat may be in this direction, but it's going to swing around totally opposite direction when the front passes and the wind shift, the wind clock around. So make sure you're not going to be on land, next time, when the clocks or smash into another boat, that type of thing. So just pay attention to those things. Situational awareness is very important. If you're on board, you just go down below, or I don't touch any metal. I've heard people will disconnect all their electronics in case there's a lightning strike. I don't really know how to do that. Some people put their cell phones and anything that's electronic in a microwave, because I guess that could give you a Faraday cage, which would protect it. I'm not sure if that actually works. But just, just don't do something stupid. Stay off the top of the boat. Don't get blown off the boat. Don't get hit by lightning. If the mast gets hit by lightning, there's not much you can do about it. Just go with the punches, It's funny, too, because like when I was a kid, I grew up on boats, not sailboats and not bigger boats. We just would trailer our boat out to the water. And my dad's like, anytime you see, lightning coming, or if you see thunder, or you see, cumulonimbus clouds, which are thunder clouds, get off the water immediately. It's like, well, yeah, but I live on the boat now, so how's that going to work? So, yeah, I don't know if there's any great answer for that. Stay safe on the water this hurricane season and doing your storm preps, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Like, share, save, and subscribe.